Hey guys, what's up? I want you to see a video here. It's not from me, it's from Richtop, one of the AVP Galaxy mods. Just take a look at how amazing this game can be. Like, look at how a single fighting can just parry stun a Predator and just beat him in a 1v1 scenario. Look how crazy the knife is in this game. And this video is actually from 2020, and it's funny because every once in a while I hear some people saying that, oh, back then this game was so much better balance-wise. The Predator was OP in 2020, Berserker with the combo stick was OP, the fighting was so weak, and I'm like, what? Because I played this game in 2020 and I never saw this era, which a lot of people say that like the Predator was OP. Because even before they nerfed the Berserker and the combat stick, because in 2020 the Berserker did more melee damage and the fighting couldn't do as much damage as it can now. I mean, not because they didn't have specializations, but still, like, you could parry, do this kind of stuff, even to the Berserker back then. The difference was just that the fighting could not do as much damage as it can now, and it started increasing. But the thing with melee was that melee was kind of like always kind of bad. I think that for a moment Berserker with the combi was like the best for Predator because Berserker could do more damage, and the melee of the combi stick could also do more damage. So when you could combine those two together, here this video here is just like the amount of damage that a piggy takes to die. I think it was back when the Plasma Pistol was worse than it is now. The Plasma Pistol been through a lot of stuff. Like, it was really bad at one point, and they buffed it, but they increased the recoil a lot. And then it was like stuck to the shit for many years, then they buffed it, and then it started to get good. It became like a very good weapon to use. And then it just went back to shit on this year, on the update earlier this year. But the thing that I'm trying to tell people here is that playing the Predator in this game has always been a problem. Like, here's just testing. Look at the knife. And this is on the support class, because the support, this was back at launch when, like, this was before I think the Dutch DLCs came. So this was just with the base classes. They didn't have like before the DLCs. And the support class was the class that could do the most knife damage. I think even now, I mean, I think that Dutch can do more because of the pair combinations. Because you can put Bane and a heavy hitter on him. But usually base damage for the knife, the support can do it more. And so, like, even back then, the knife damage on the fighting was always insane. The parrying has always been crazy. So I don't get this idea that people say that, oh, Predator was so much better in 2020. Like, the balance was always bad. I think that right now, I would say, I think that melee was always bad in this game in general because the fighting damage is very high up front. And also the knife. The knife can just parry and just breaks the whole idea.
Damn, that shit's so bad.
Look at this. Like, a single fighting can just beat up Predator with the knife. The knife has always been like a meme of how broken it is in this game. And the melee has always been bad partially because of this shit. So, it's nothing new. Like, melee has always been bad. I think that the difference is that back then, compared to what things are now, at least the bow was better. That was like the main idea. Melee was always bad, but back then, the fighting couldn't do as much damage as it can now with certain combinations because it was before specialization. So, like, Assault didn't have Deadly, Dutch support didn't have Leader, so they couldn't stack that much damage. But still, we're talking about increase of damage of like 10, 20%, maybe 30 if you're using a lot of stuff. But I mean, Bane was a thing, they could use the Ultra Bane. But right now, you can have more damage buffs for the fighting. Also, the fast revival, the field medic, that was a buff. So, I would say right now, sure. I think that right now, the fighting is stronger than it was at launch in 2020. But it wasn't like things were ever good for the Predator. This game was never good for the Predator. Never. Coming close against the fighting has always been bad for the Predator because you're just gonna get melted. And I think that I do have some footage of me playing with the Berserker, but it wasn't like against good things, it was just against potatoes. And people, I think that a lot of people, they just played alone, like you're playing solo with potatoes against a guy that is using the Berserker. And yeah, that's gonna be like the equivalent now that is like playing against Amazon Ghost with the Alpha Sickle. That was like the equivalent of Berserker with the combat stick, because you couldn't do as much damage in a 1v1, you couldn't second wind up Berserker on your own. And the class could take more damage, could do more damage with melee. That was like Berserker with the combat stick was. It was like Amazon Ghost now. But the thing is, when you're playing at pre-made, where everybody's playing well, the Predator still got shitted over. Like, that's the thing that people don't realize. And, like, it's just like, I always ask people, like, oh, you're saying that this 2020 Predator was OP? Can I see video footage? Can you just demonstrate that to me? Because I didn't experience, like, I played this game since launch. I've been through it all. And I remember, like, when I first played the game, oh, here is just the usual chasing Predator. I'm gonna show a match here of, like, this was, like, before I started using, oh, stupid ad. This was before I started using Plasma Caster at all. My main build for a while was using Jungle Hunter with the, look at the perks that I have. Who's Adreno, because I use it melee with the Katana. My main build was Katana with the Ultra Bow. I always use Large Punch for more medikits. I would use Fast Hands, and I didn't use key bindings back then. Like, I would use the weapon wheel, but I just like it because I like it to change between the Katana and the bow. My main build for a while was just using Jungle Hunter with the Katana and the bow. This was before specialization, so no Field Medic, no Fast Revive, no damage buffs for the fighting. And this match here, the first one, is not even against a pre-made fighting. This is just like, I think they have 2 PC players. One of them is actually someone that I played a lot in this game later on. But this wasn't like a good fighting as a whole. We have 2 good PC players that know how to handle themselves, but the other players were just like the usual console players that they just play like more casually. But my approach here was usually try to kill a few of them with the combat, and just move on with the Katana. But you guys are gonna be able to see in the match that it was never that easy. I mean, using the bow at this moment was bad. I think that this build here is really not viable now. Like, right now, I would just get melted even faster. It would be much harder for me. So, I think that back then, during this moment, this was just before they added specialization. Here, I actually came in close with the Katana, even against a full team. And even with 3 hits from heavy, nobody got down. But then everybody just started to go melee. Oh, one of them managed to get down. But then they just everybody jumped on me with the knife. But at least I didn't get that parry. Because I think that, like, the heavy attack of the Katana, you cannot parry that, right? At least, I don't think I ever got parried. Here I changed to the bow. Trying to play smart, trying to get a kill here. Trying to use it as bait. Oh, but I think this guy had self-revive with Scout, I think. And that's weird. I think that the gear for the self-revive maybe was different back then. I don't know. There are a lot of changes in regards to certain gear and perks. Regards like to how much points they cost ever since launch. But this is like how I played in 2020. I would try to use the bow. My aim was like kind of okay. I have a good ping in this match. I got second winded here. I was risking. Usually, this is not the average match for me. Most of the matches, I would just jump on the fighting, get 3 kills, and just leave for them to reinforce. But since there are like 2 PC players that know what they are doing, so because of that, like it took like a little longer for me to get the kills. But yes, it was easier for me specifically to play as a Predator, but that's because I use a Ranger. I think that back then, using the bow was easier. Throwing the combat stick, using the bow, even the plasma pistol as well. I even thought in 2020 the plasma pistol was, I think, maybe even a little bit worse than it is now. It wasn't like not that good back then. But the bow was definitely better, and the bow is worse now. So I think that melee from back then wasn't that good, but you could see that my HP wasn't going down so incredibly fast. But then again, this is not against a full team. Against a full team, against a pre-made fighting, it was always shit for Predator. Always. Specifically, when you use melee. When you use melee, it has always been very shit. If you use ranged weapons, it wasn't like that good. But it wasn't as bad as it is now, because at least the bow could do more damage. And I mean, they didn't have specialization, so the fighting couldn't do as much damage during this moment. And the Predator could do more damage with certain weapons. I don't remember the Plasma Caster damage because I never used it. Because in my head, like when I played this game, since the Plasma Caster is like a weapon that you don't need to unlock by leveling up, I assumed it was bad. I mean, this was in 2020. I didn't really pay much attention. I played this game like whatever. I never really followed too much of the news, the updates, the community as a whole, you know? This was like during the pandemic, so it was like during the pandemic, I was like just at home most of the day. I didn't have anything else better to do, so I just kind of played just this game like most of my day. Like, this was my distraction during the COVID pandemic, pretty much. And I was really like more into, I was almost like a role player, Predator player. I was just more into just having fun, just getting claims, getting skulls, trying fun builds. I used to play, like, I wanted to always play, like, with different Predator customizations. I was very much into that. I wasn't really into the, like, meta gameplay, trying to find... I really wanted to relax. When I played this game, I was stressed because I was, like, it was during the pandemic, so... I didn't really play this game to try hard, you know? I was just trying to relax. And here, look, I'm getting sniped, getting some shots there, trying to use traps. But coming up close here can be very risky. And I don't think this guy was using the semi-automatic sniper. He's not even the Souls. He's not even the best sniper. And I'm still like, I already need to go away and heal. And just like, it's mainly damage from one guy. And, oh yeah, I got this guy with a headshot. But like, it wasn't, like I said, this match here, you guys can see that it feels like kind of like well balanced. But keep in mind that this is not a very good fighting. Like, they're just like, they're not a team playing together. They're just like, it's just like people that got in like a random match together against me. This is not a pre-mate. I think the next match after this one it's a PC pre-mate. And it was very risky for me. I had to, you guys are gonna see how things went in that one. But in this one, it's still like, I could have died there. Like, even against like people that are like, it's not ulti fighting players that are shooting me. It's just like a few, just mainly the PC ones are the ones shooting me the most. The other ones, not so much. But even like just having a few players shoot at you can be very risky for the Predator. So right now, if you played like this, like I play, my mixing up between some ranged and melee, because I was using the best melee weapon. I think the katana back then, it was the best melee weapon for the Predator. And like I said, the heavy attack, I think it couldn't be parried. So that was like a plus. So I wouldn't have to deal with people trying to do the parry spamming that people could do back then, you know. And that was something that people could do even PS, PlayStation, PC. I'm just saying, like. But when you play like this, it was better than it is now. Sure, I get that. I would say that Predator wasn't never that good in this game, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Like, things are just worse now. It has been the worst. I think that the moment where I recorded this video, which I think was like August or September of 2020, I think this was like the best for the Predator in this game. It was just before specializations. I mean, oh, look at this. I'm trying to use katana and I get overpowered by two fighting players. Pretty much like with the knife, they can just... They're not even using support. I mean, I think one is a scout, one is a recon, and they still have enough damage. And keep in mind that recon and scout, they do less knife damage. It less than the base damage of the knife. If those guys were using Dutch or support, I would have died. Like, you guys can use this match as an example. Like, this kind of gameplay is like good, but if I was playing against people... Oh, stupid ad. It's a Brazilian ad. Because, okay, let me just skip this. If I was playing against a full team that are all using Dutch and support, this match would have went very different. I think that I wouldn't have been able to win at all, because especially with the way that I play like this. Because sure, I have good aim with the bow, I can hit some shots, but I'm trying to mix it up and try to just have fun in my own way. And this way that I played wasn't the meta way even from back then. Maybe Plasma was better. I don't know. Like, look, I'm just getting sniped and pushed back. I don't know how to come close, you know. This was always a problem. Like, the spotting was always crazy. I don't think they have Tracker here, but Tracker was also a thing. So, like, I'm not playing the meta way, but also the fighting is not playing the most meta way either. It's not a pre-made. They're not using the best builds, even like playing alone. Even if this wasn't a pre-made. If some of the players were using just Dutch and support instead, things would have been very bad for me. I don't know if Dutch 87 was already released, but I think that Dutch 2025 was already in this game. But still, so pretty much like the main difference from 2020, like from this moment, when I think that it was the best for the Predator. Well, the fighting couldn't do as much damage because they didn't have specializations. They couldn't do like stuff like fast revive. They didn't have specializations abilities. Predator could take more damage because of that, because without the damage buff, he would be able to take a little bit more damage from the fighting. But that's just but the damage was still high. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Base damage of the fighting was still high. The sniper could still do a lot of damage. The pistol could do a lot of damage. Tracker existed. They could just use the spamming with the spotting. Support could do damage resistance. It just they didn't have support. Didn't have field medic. But that was pretty much it. And the bow did more damage than it could now. The plasma, I think, did actually less damage. They buffed the plasma a little after this, I think. But it wasn't really enough to make that much of it. That's why I think that's around the time that the plasma became like the meta for Predators. Also, the smart disc wasn't like as it is now. You only had one smart disc, and it was harder to fly. That's why I think that in 2020, barely anyone used the smart disc, because you only had one. It was very easy to destroy, like kind of how it is now to destroy. But, well, now you have 3 of them. But it was it was very easy to destroy, and it was harder to fly. So nobody kind of used the disc in 2020. But the disc wasn't really that powerful. The plasma wasn't as powerful, so the best option was really use the bow. That was like the meta in the combo stick, but I didn't really know about how strong the combo stick throw was. Oh, here was risky. I decided to start. Oh, I almost lost second win there. Usually I would kill people with arrows. I think I run out of arrows here, so I had to risk my. Yeah, my mask is almost coming off, and it is gonna come off in this game. So the best for Predator back then was to use the combi with the bow. But I like the katana, so that's why I was using. I like to use melee. Like back then, I did like to try to do some melee. But the combi stick, I think that during this match, it was already nerfed. At launch, the combi stick could do more damage for throws. I mean, both melee and throw, but then the melee was nerfed very shortly after launch. And the throw took, I think it took some more months. I don't remember specifically which patch it was, but it took a little longer for them to nerf. Oh, here one the player is already getting to the final clash of the match. I think that only the PC players are left. I got the 2 PS. This guy loves the knife. Oh no, I got parried with the heavy of the katana, so it can be parried. I think it's just harder to parry. The heavy of the katana, I think that the parry window is just harder. That's why a lot of people couldn't do it. So I think that's why I used it, because I think that I might have heard back then how harder it was to parry the secondary attack of the katana. And since I hated the parry in this game, I was like, oh, since I want to use melee, I guess like this weapon is gonna be the best option, because it's gonna be the hardest one. This was before TX. I mean, they didn't have TX. I think they have the sickle, but I think the sickle wasn't as good as it is like now. It had like different animations. And there's like I thought it was gonna be like a knife fight, but I think he's gonna snipe my mask off. And then I think that I'm just gonna skip it, because I was gonna go second because I'm gonna go second because I wanted to finish him, but I couldn't because I lost my mask, and now it's gonna be annoying because it took me like over 5 minutes to find this guy, and he was like at the roof actually. He was like waiting for me at a roof. I think I heard like noise from shooting. I was just like taking a look at the Raptor Jungle Hunter. I think I spotted him in the roof, and I had a 1v1 match with him. I mean, 1v1 fight. Katana against knife. I mean, if I used wrist blades, maybe I would have died. I don't know. But he's a recon. Like, if he wasn't a recon, like this would have things could have went very different. But the heavy of the katana was really good back then. It was good. Then that's how I won. In the second match, yeah, I think this was a PC pre-made, all PC players. And I was using a different build. I mean, with perks. In this one, I didn't remember. I could actually do this combination on the hunter. Right now, can you do that? Yeah, you cannot do this because this would cost. It would be. It's gonna be 4.6, 10, 13 points. So you cannot use this combination on hunter anymore because I think they back then impenetrable or downrange cost. I think it was impenetrable, but it would cost less perk points. So in this one, I'm using impenetrable, downrange, and large punch, which is a combination that I don't think it's possible anymore on the hunter class. And this match here was hard for me because I kind of fucked it up at the start. Like, I was going here over. I think that I took longer to use Striker Isolation. Yeah, when I used Striker Isolation, I ended up like taking too long, and they mudded up. So by the time that I found it, it took a while to find it. I thought they were gonna go to this camp, but they didn't. But it was actually the mission where they are doing is actually the mission where I started. It was the mission where they need to go to this camp and burn the cabin. So I just had to wait here, and they would have come here, but because I kind of fucked it up at the start. So by the time that I find the fire thing, they already finished half of the mission, or like pretty much half the mission. By the time that I find the fire thing, they already finished the mission in this part. They're just close to finishing this. And they're already like moving to the last part. And this is like a 3-minute mission. So I don't have much time to finish this. And this was, I think they're using Dutches. They have like, because Dutch 87 was always like, I mean, this was before Dante. So Dutch 87 and support were like the meta for fighting before Dante. And look at this, look at the damage. And I'm using Impenetrable. And these guys are not, I think they're using Submachine from the sound of it. Oh look, I shoot 1 arrow, 2 arrows, 3 arrows, 4, and okay, I'm already like half HP. I missed it a few. Maybe if I didn't miss it, maybe I could have like, but I think that the best approach against a case like this, like a PC Primate, would be to use the combi and T-bow. But I didn't know about key bindings, I didn't know about the combi, and I like the katana, so I didn't play exactly the meta. But these guys, I mean, they are not, I think they're using submachine gun. It's not like, they're not playing like full meta as well. But it is a PC Primate, it is a thing. They are playing more coordinated, you know, they're doing the mission together, they're close it up. But then I lose half HP while trying to get a down, which I couldn't get a down. So by now, like, it's already like, I need to probably heal. But I managed to spot one a little bit further away. I think one was trying to snipe up here. This was a good chance because one of them separated, and I just went, it was like to recon. Maybe it was a recon tracker. No, it wasn't from this spotting. So I was able to get a kill really easy here. But I think this was luck. I was lucky that this guy was trying to snipe from far. And I was able to spot him. And since he is a recon, he doesn't have much HP, so I just went straight for him and to get a kill. Getting one kill right at the start. At the mission here, they're already going for the last part, which is to destroy the chopper. And because they were, usually back then, the whole thing about PC Primates was always like this, oh, PC Primates are unbeatable in this game. So this was one of the few moments where I was not planning on getting 7 kills, because back then, I would always let people reinforce. I was always into the getting, I want to get seven trophies, whatever. But in this situation here, because I noticed that the mission was almost finished, and they were playing in a team. So I was like, no, I need to kill these guys. And this is gonna be my chance. So I healed here. I was gonna go up there where they're trying to finish the mission here, but destroying the chopper. And this is the moment where, yeah, look, a Dutch player, they're using ACGs, they're all close together, the 3 of them. After they lost one player, I assume they were like, okay, this guy might not be a potato predator. So I guess we have to come in close to him and try to stop him. So they're more close together, you know, I'm just waiting for, so I can cloak again. Gonna jump up there. So using more of the bow, trying to get someone down. But you guys can see that, like, the amount of arrows to down players, it is less than it is now. So yeah, for that, it is better. But then, and the fighting damage is lower, so you can stay under fire for longer. So yeah, definitely, like, yeah, here, I managed to get the arrow. And before, and in this situation, they couldn't have the field medic to revive the guy. So back then it was good, mainly because of this, they didn't have field medic. So if someone got down, it was easier to get him killed with arrows, you know. And here, I just decided to go for melee. And they're also going for me, like, we're just having like a double knife fight. And then here, I think that because there are 2 of them, I said fuck it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be able to win this. And now they started shooting. So like we start like a knife fight, like katana versus knife, and then I changed my mind and I said fuck it. Because I think that, yeah, bow with the combi is usually better. But here I think that since I run out of arrows, I think I'm gonna go back to the katana maybe. Yeah. But what I'm trying to show here is that, yeah, playing as the Predator was bad in 2020. Especially, like, during this moment, when before specializations, fighting damage was lower. They couldn't do, like, didn't have field medic. The Predator weapons, some of them, like the katana and the bow, could do more damage. But it was never that easy. Like, playing as the Predator has always been hard in this game. Like, 2020 was better than it is now. But it was never, like, that easy. Like, honestly. Playing as the Predator has always been hard mode in this game.